Hello, everyone, and welcome back to LCS Countdown, as well as the latest edition of According To with me, La Tigress. We hit up Twitch chat a little earlier on, as well as reaching out to Aphromoo. But right now, I do want to know what Twitter has to say. So earlier on, we awarded who we think the biggest surprise team is that we have seen this spring, but according to Twitter, which LCS team is the biggest surprise so far this season? Of course, this could be a team exceeding expectations or not performing up to standard. What are you thinking, analysts?
You gotta be Dig, right?
Has to be.
I think
Dig,
CLG
right?
could be a big surprise for people not living up to standards. I know people weren't very positive on them anyways, but the whatever it was, 1-8 start or whatever, maybe. But I think it's Dig.
Yeah, I think we all discussed it earlier.
Has to be.
I mean,
Yeah,
there
but
could be a
thinking
meme
about Twitter,
answer, right? Somebody could be memeing this, so they might just say TSM for just the sake of TSM, but okay, look at that.
Okay, yeah, 77% of the vote. All right, cool. We're aligned.
Yeah, I will say this is a very rare occasion where Twitter is actually extremely aligned with the desk, but there was also some interesting conversations around those that people felt were underperforming. Some saying CLG kind of goes on both sides because of their start and how they finished off. So yeah, interesting replies from all of those on Twitter. But rolling right along, we've got, according to Twitch chat, which team will end up winning the mid-season showdown? We already know all the 6 that are going to be in playoffs at this point.
Again, I think we should give credit to what crowdsourcing can do. I think they usually actually end up with the right response. And considering that Team Liquid has been very strong with their best-of-1 wins, and they seem to be slowly getting back on form, I think they're saying TL.
I think it's going to be C9. I think C9 fans are always in Twitch chat. I think they always, you know, like this is me trying to predict who is going to be in Twitch chat responding to things. So I'm going for C9 with the vote here.
Even following Crumbs' wisdom of the crowds, I would still think that Cloud9 would be the favorite. They've looked the best during the regular season. They almost beat TL in the lock-in tournament, so I think it's C9 easy.
Lot back
Watch it
in
be Dig
C9.
again.
Right? Yeah, who's Twitch chat with? Yeah, so they're definitely on board with Cloud9, but it looks like there are quite a few for TL, TSM. We did have a mention of TL here. What argument do you think is to be had, if any, from our analysts for TSM potentially taking it?
The fans are really committed. That's the argument for that vote.
Oh, no.
I think they have been getting better over the course of the split. You know, like Sword Art, when he's playing well with Spica, gets a lot of stuff done on the map. Huni and PoE can be legitimate late game threats. Like, I can see a world where they do win. I just think that they are the dark horse of the 3.
Seems to be a fair assessment there, but TSM fans, I mean, they're always here to make sure they put their votes into the chat, so props to them for their consistency in that regard. Finally, we've got, according to longtime LCS legend Aphromoo, what is his favorite moment in his career so far? And he's had a long one.
Winning at
that
Madison
one
Square Garden?
MSI win. Oh,
They got
Madison
second,
Square Garden
though.
is a good one, too.
So there's 3 options. I think it would be like making MSI finals, winning Madison Square Garden, and Dark Horse beating Doublelift when he went to TSM as the grudge match.
way.
Dude, he talked so much smack in that post-game interview. When they won that finals, he was like, it's good to win with people. I forget what he said, but it was like people you actually enjoy playing with. I forget. It was some stuff where he was throwing shots hard.
Yeah,
I would low-key put that.
But he's aged as a person. I think he's matured. He's no longer such spiteful. There's no more grudges. These are veteran players. I think Aphromoo has moved beyond that. I will cherish the best moments, the sweetest wins.
All right, let's see if Aphromoo is as positive as you all think him to be. Find out what he had as an answer to this one.
My favorite career moment definitely is tied between my win at Madison Square Garden and Mandalay Bay, but I'll probably have to go when I was on Counter Logic Gaming for Madison in 2015. Just because it was our first one, and going in, we were definitely the underdogs. Nobody really believed in us. We'd always fail previous years, and being able to get that 3-0 over TSM just felt amazing, especially being able to play at the Garden when I've always watched, basketball growing up is amazing.
I feel like that's a very fitting answer, not just because you all brought it up, but you hear stories about even one of her writers, Elias, for instance, a CLG fan, saying, I remember that moment at MSG when CLG came through on top here.
He said Mandalay was the second one, though, right? That was the 2016 spring.
That one kind of surprises me a little bit more, I think, than the Madison Square Garden. Like, I would have assumed it was Madison Square Garden and making MSI finals.
The scope of the stadiums, I think, really played into that, because that's just such a giant arena to be playing. When you have that much energy from the crowd pumping into you and you're winning, it feels amazing.
I do really appreciate the call out from you all, though, on the split up between Doublelift and Aphromoo. As a fan, I remember that moment and all of the trash talk afterwards and thinking, you're breaking my sphere, my mind, but in such a good way. Gotta love the moments that Aphromoo has brought to us here. But yeah, I mean, as far as is there anything else that you think when looking at these veterans and they're trying to reflect upon it, is it just difficult in general for them to kind of pick one singular moment out of this to really bring to the forefront?
Always winning. Always win. No matter how much you play, it's winning what matters the most. That's the sweetest moment every single time.
Got to stand with you in that one. So speaking of standings, though, let's go ahead and take a look at our current standings. Cloud9 are still sitting at the top, only one win above our three-way tie at second between 100 Thieves, Team Liquid, and TSM. Dignitas are right below them in 5th place, with Evil Geniuses already locked into 6th and that lower bracket for our mid-season showdown. Looking ahead at our schedule for the next day, though, FlyQuest face off against Dignitas in an all-important match for playoff seeding, followed by Golden Guardians taking on TSM, 100 Thieves versus Team Liquid, and even more matches until we potentially close out our day with some tiebreakers. If you are a fan of tiebreakers, you'll want Dignitas to win out against FlyQuest and Golden Guardians to beat TSM, which is the scenario for the most likely number of tiebreakers, which is 2. But hey, I'll take it. 2 is a small number, but can be big when you're adding to the number of games that we got going on. And if you do want to dig deeper into the numbers, our stats team has posted the fabled foldy sheet over on Twitter at LOL Esports Stats, so you can print out a copy to march what Mark has on your screen right there. Follow along all the statistical magic happening throughout the day. Good printing skills, Mark.
I know. That looks so pretty.
Is that a skill?
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, I connected it to my printer, which is probably the hardest part, is getting the printer to actually do what you want it to, but I don't know if I call that a skill.
I don't remember the last time I printed something, honestly.
Yeah, you know, you did that much more than any of us on the desk have done within probably the past year, so props to you. We got so many scenarios and so much on the line. I think that we could all use a little bit of sage advice from our resident optimist, Azael.
And now, it's time for sage advice from a literal world champion.
Well, here we are, the last week of the regular season. There's lots on the line with both playoffs and MSI qualification depending on these games. But honestly, don't worry about it. There's nothing really to be nervous about. I mean, seriously, what's the worst that could happen? Your team crashes and burns, make front page Reddit for all the wrong reasons. I mean, your team sponsors would probably pull out at that point, but I mean, no one's going to blame you if they have to sell their spot. Well, I guess you would lose your job, but you know, you'll be down in the academy toiling away for a couple of years, and who knows what could happen. Players usually make it back up. Then again, maybe not. Who knows? Anyway, point is, don't be nervous.
This has been sage advice from a literal world champion.
Yes, don't be nervous. Thank you, Azael. I think. Anyway,
I'll take that to heart.
Sure, yeah, you know, good stuff from our literal world champion over there. I'm sure that neither FlyQuest nor Dignitas, though, are too nervous going into their game. You know, there's a lot for them to consider. Crumbs, if you are Dignitas, though, how are you feeling coming into this matchup after the weekend that they've had thus far?
They had a really tough weekend. Now, Dignitas had to face off against both lock-in finalists, and they got bodied by both of them. And if that wasn't enough, the bans both teams threw at them seemed to really hit a nerve. Like we heard from K-Drill, without the Alistar, they really struggled. They most likely put most of their practice in these two matches since they legitimately had a shot at first place. Now, facing potential dropping into the lower bracket, they need to stay calm and not be fazed by the two losses and bring home one more win against Fly, which is a much weaker team and one that is not in the playoff race.
Still, though, I think they have to give some respect to FlyQuest because you saw how hard FlyQuest made 100 Thieves work just yesterday. It was a really long game, and despite, FBI getting fed and all this stuff happening, it was a situation where 100 Thieves had to work really hard over the course of that game to find the wins. And I think even then, Jose Diodo wasn't playing great. So there's an opportunity for FlyQuest to play the upset right now for Dignitas if Dignitas is kind of looking past them and already looking into playoffs.
And I think it's actually really crucial that Dignitas get one of those top 4 spots, right? Because I think Dignitas is a team that could benefit really, really well from being able to get that extra practice, or not extra practice, but not have as much pressure if you have the lower bracket option, right? Because Dignitas is a team that is this really awesome mixture of 2 very experienced veterans and then 3 players who are returning to the LCS after really short stints. So, you have this really great mixture of new upcoming talent that's been performing progressively better throughout this split, and then the 2 veterans. And I think that's always a team setup that can benefit really, really well from having that extra insurance. We've also seen Dignitas kind of experiment around some of their drafting, making the most of Dardoch's champion pool while making sure that their solo lanes had priority. Additionally, Crumbs already mentioned the K-Drill call-out of the reliance on stuff like Alistar, somewhat a reliance on Skarner as well. So I think getting this top 4 is so important, which puts a lot more pressure than there normally would be on this match against FlyQuest.
So we're all on board that Dignitas really do need to go for the victory here for the sake of standings going into playoffs. But what do they need to do to get that W?
So I think if I'm Dignitas, I would attack the newcomer into the FlyQuest lineup, which is Dreams. Now, individually, he's been fine, but when you put a new support with a new bottom lane, you don't have enough time to build up that synergy. So because Neo and Aphro have been so dominant, I think focusing the laning phase of FlyQuest's bottom will be a very effective strategy. You camp that lane, maybe you have globals from the Gangplank in the bot lane, and you make sure that you develop a lead down there that you can then transition into a strong mid game because you have an AD that can definitely take you over the finish line with Neo.
And I think Dignitas has been a lot more comfortable playing around bot lane too, so that's a really good call out.
Well, we're going to all have to keep our eyes on Neo and the rest of Dignitas for that one. All spring long, though, here on the broadcast, we've been holding a little competition of our own. Analysts and casters alike have recorded their predictions for all 85 matches we've had so far. That's a lot. And here is our current leaderboard. It should be noted that this is only a check-in, though. Like our teams here in the LCS, the prediction records will carry over through the summer, where we will ultimately crown a new prediction prophet. Right.
Where's Dash? Did we not include his 2-3 record at 40%?
We kicked out his 1 day of predictions.
He made the numbers look more ugly, maybe. But I would say even in the 1 day, didn't he do it just to go against the analyst desk too? And I feel like that's quite an accomplishment to still get 2 correct, though. But here on the desk, Mark, you're kind of the one reigning up there.
Yeah, because we all kept picking the same thing. So he was just like, well, screw you guys. I'm going to pick every opposite.
I'm sad. I lost my lead, though, in the last couple of days because I had a Lauren beat through most of the year, but he rallied hard.
I mean, Crumbs, you have dubbed yourself with this prophet title before. How difficult
First
do
of
you
all,
think?
hang on. I never dubbed myself, right? This title came on to me. I never chose this. It kept pushed onto me.
You dressed like Moses and made predictions.
Again, I don't schedule these. These segments happen to me. So, Mark, you're happy
that
to
you take them happily, Crumbs.
Wow. Okay.
I never got asked to dress up in a beard with a staff and a robe and make predictions. You
never grew a beard. Let's see it.
Yeah, you're literally Prophet Crumbs on Twitter, and that's like, I mean,
it's
you're
only because
owning
I
it.
can't change it. I would lose the check mark. I'm valuing the check mark more than the title.
All right. Well, anyway,
Reluctant prophet.
let's find out how good your prophet skills are for today, though, because I do want to get our last rounds of predictions in before we head into it. Was everybody on board, or Crumbs? There you are.
Respect
Crumbs.
There it is.
Said that we weren't all
There it is.
agree.
Yeah, of course. I think CLG, obviously they're going to bounce back after losing to Golden Guardians. That's just the CLG way. So I think they actually will be able to come up with a win here against EG because they looked a little bit shaky. I mean, yeah, you gave Jizuka some cool picks, but honestly, it's going to take a while to incorporate those kinds of champions because no one plays with Nico right now. So I want to see CLG make one of those games that they showed against Team Liquid and C9. I think they're very capable of doing so. And if EG is not on their game, which it seems like they weren't yesterday, then I think CLG will get the dub.
Be a lot of fun seeing what comps those two teams bring to the table. As far as game number 1, though, let's go ahead and send things over to Freak and Kobe for the call.
Thank you very much. Hello and welcome to the caster desk. We are excited to bring you the first 3 games of the day as we figure out where the seedings are going to land. We know which 6 teams are in playoffs. We don't know what their seeds are going to be. And our first game of the day is going to have Dignitas doing battle with FlyQuest.
You don't know, but I already know, Freak.
You already know? Kobe, did you write the script or just read the early copy?
I wrote it.
You wrote it? Okay,
all according to plan.
No wonder you're top 3 in the predictions games then. You just cheat the whole time.
I'll give you a hint. McDonald's.
Wow.
Let's get right into
so Vulcan's going to win. Got it. Okay.
Let's get right into the big bands here, though, Freak, as you try and figure out the script riddles. Seraphine right off the bands here. That actually was something that Dignitas used to defeat FlyQuest in their previous matchup, but they don't want to let it go over as a first pick to the FlyQuest side. Good band there. And Nar has risen to the top of top lane priority because of the repeated buffs the champion received, and it is so good into the other meta top laners like Renekton, like GP.
Absolutely the case. So we'll see what else gets dropped off here, and if we get the jungle pool pinched down any farther. There's Renekton, so more sort of prime, blind if you want them, fairly safe top laners taken off the table from the FlyQuest side. See what Dignitas wants to remove now as well. We know Dardak has a champion Ocean, but Hecarim has increasingly become maybe the most premier jungler, maybe even put him above people like the Lilia or the Udyr. So we'll see if that gets first picked by Jose Diodo.
There is no world where FlyQuest don't first pick Hecarim. There is actually no world at all. It has been Jose Diodo's top priority, plus Udyr and Lilia are banned out. This is like Dignitas is just shoving this Hecarim into FlyQuest.
Please play this.
I really want to see what the response is, because if you're pushing that on them, then you already start thinking of counter dive probably. Maybe they actually don't even go for the early Kai'Sa. Kai'Sa Rel is what you would think would be, insta-lock, for the meta right now. But maybe they actually go Xayah, to try and avoid something like that, knowing that they're giving over this Hecarim. So far, just nabbing up this Syndra for the mid lane for Soligo. Plenty of decent options left still. Azir was taken down a little bit with the lane phase. Nerf for 10 damage on shoulders. Orianna is still very good, and although Syndra does have level 6 kill pressure, so many people are really happy to take that matchup and go for the scaling with the Orianna.
Just surprised that you threw a bunch of jungle bans to give him the most popular jungler anyway that he was already going to pick, and then you went for the Graves. I'm gonna wait and see. I mean, Dignitas clearly had a plan here. Like, this wasn't like a curveball got thrown. What's up?
I really wanted to see Orianna here in the first round. Tristana is a good flex pick, but this is looking like such a current meta god comp here for FlyQuest. Yeah. Orianna with Rel combination and a Hecarim engage is insane. Dignitas are going to have to ban this out on the second round of ban phase after they pick up their last pick here. Let's see what they're going to go for. Maybe towards bottom side first, as they probably want to leave Fake God with his guaranteed counter pick on red. But man, we've got to have some mid lane bans here from Dig.
Unless you really feel like you're going to lane kingdom this again, I really think Syndra Trist is a waste of Trist's power to put her in mid lane. The laning phase is crap. You don't really have push. Like, your 1v1 is deleted. Yeah, sure. But on the other side, we know from years of experience that Syndra likes playing into Orianna. The lane matchup is not the team fight matchup, of course. So yes, as you mentioned, the 5-on-5 obviously very good. There's the Orianna ban after all. Because the consideration was maybe Digger like, screw it, lane kingdom. Like, screw your team fights. It's why we picked Graves, because he's just like going to show up off a Syndra stun, and it was a possibility. It's not what they're going for, but there was something there. I am very curious what the rest of the Dignitas lineup is going to be. They're going to have to grab their major bot laner here and then answer whatever comes in top lane and have Fake God get counterpick.
Yeah, I think you whittle down a little bit more on Palafox here, because people have also, and especially Palafox has gone towards. I was going to also shout out the Yone, still an option for him. Will be a lot of attack damage for FlyQuest if they did go that route, though, and then would have to have Licorice, on some AP threat from top side of the map. So they take out the Silas away from Palafox, which was it was one of the the big wins that FlyQuest got. Was him on this champion baiting in a lot of opponent over aggression.
All right, Gangplank showing up as a ban. Anytime I see Sylas, my brain instantly says, hey, Malphite, because Sylas is the hardest counter pick in League of Legends to Malphite as an option.
There's the Xayah.
Of course, they're going to blind the Xayah and take top lane for last, but if you're willing to go Sylas early and say, hey, you're not allowed to play that champion, that would have been a possibility. So we'll see what comes through. FlyQuest need both solos. They know they're against Syndra mid. They know they're blind picking top lane with Gnar, Renekton, Gangplank, and Sylas all removed from options. Okay, Shen is going to be the safe top lane pick. Obviously, can easily join either the four-legged companions there as a dive buddy, and now they need a mid laner.
I was going to say, with the Gangplank ban, does definitely highly raises the priority on Shen up on top side, because there have been so many good top lane bans here of things that would be difficult for him and would harass him. Also, as expected, Dignitas giving over the first pick Hecarim. They know they're going to play into dive. They do pick up the Xayah on the bottom side of the map. So it is going to be FlyQuest back to dive. Twisted Fate caps everything off with the extra global here. This is kind of similar to what we saw yesterday from them, and we need to see it used early on, towards this Trist, because yesterday when they used it up top side towards their tank, not towards the carry. So they didn't get early money on the carry. Johnson never really had a good power difference with the opponent carry to be able to take these team fights. I think they need to get this Tristana rolling early. Then if you gank bottom, Tristana also takes turret plates really quickly. So your TF, your Shen are down there, you get your kill, you get your turret plates, and you try and snowball effectively with both Licorice and Palafox helping out this area. Dig need to know this. I like the Mordekaiser pickup here. Hasn't been seen in quite a while, but into Shen, really, really good option. Does have priority on the top side of the map. Also has, decently long range CC to be able to, pull him out of Stand United if he doesn't back off far enough. And the ultimate is really good in split push scenarios. Even if you do get ganked by Twisted Fate, guess what? I'll just take somebody else into the zone, or, 1v1 me Twisted Fate. You want to come up here? Let's see if you can actually handle it.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to watch for. I'm a big Mordekaiser fan. I think it's a great champion, one who is underpicked this season. I think played an appropriate amount in the previous year, especially Impact, kind of single-handedly carrying the champ select for that one for the LCS last year. Yeah. But I think there's a lot that ended up being pretty good with Dignitas. Xayah ends up being great in the TF. That gold card is so telegraphed. You can always ult that on reflex and dodge the stun. Depending on reflex, you can get away from Rel in time sometimes. If not, you can at least cleanse and then get away with the ulti. So I feel like Neo should feel fairly safe, and he's been such a good source of damage output that getting to free fire on Xayah with decent frontline on the team, decent crowd control, he's gonna get a lot out here. But you also look at the quality of champions. You're like, well, pretty much down the line, these are all more common options here on the FlyQuest side. They got the cream of the crop in so many roles. It's just surprising they got so many good things. When you look at where the bans went, it's we still got the best jungler in Hecarim, and we're ready to go with everything else.
And what I really like for this FlyQuest, team and comp is that it gives them such a clear direction. And actually, starting off here with Johnson and Dreams heading up to the top side, we probably have a late invade from FlyQuest. You can have Twisted Fate gold card plus the Rel options here for a really, really powerful level 1. If you have somebody go from the top side of this tri-brush, you can try and funnel them down into the other one. I'm assuming, okay, Licorice has no spell yet, so he's waiting. He might level Taunt as well if they get, the pick here onto Fake God.
So Vega trying to get both bits of information at the same time. Walking to the brush. Yeah, he's going to take damage from Johnson's jump. And will flash away from Crash Down. I don't know if you're going to play that one differently, but he thought, okay, I can watch the brush. I can also see them coming from top side and kind of track both. The slow means his flash is down. And hey, by the way, yeah, you gank this Mordekaiser anytime pre-6, he's flashless.
Yep, and it's very, very, very common. Start on red side here for Hecarim, so easily path up towards the top side if they want to. Again, if you get an early kill up on there on the Mordekaiser with no flash, for Hecarim, red buff, this can be really, really good. Get another early damage source for your team and open up possibilities there for Palafox with the first Twisted Fate ultimate. I think this is actually going to do a lot for the early game of FlyQuest, so I really like them actually taking matters into their own hands, going for the level 1 invade to open up this flash, as it really does change the lane significantly. Mordekaiser, no dashes for his own, has to now let Shen just push this wave into him and suffer a bit of loss of control.
Tristana going to lose some of the wave clear as well. For floating rocket jump makes that not the strongest. Aphro trading blows, but it's phase rush. Alistar, he is not tanky. Alistar is not a champ at level 1. Has to flash away and stay alive. Obviously no summoner heal for Neo, but still lives regardless. Mid laner's fighting back and forth. Good stun traded on both sides, and Palafox not happy. This one down to 12-10. I was going to say 1,200, but you know, divided by 10 there. 120 health. That's what I was going for. In some number systems, that would have been grammatically correct, just not in English.
I like it. You should just change the number system so that any math that you say will be correct. I love it. Bottom side, I also like how Johnson's like, yeah, okay, I don't have explosive shot, but I do have rocket jump. They go for another double jump here with Dreams continuing to play aggressive on the bottom side. And from Champ Select, we're setting it up. There's such clear direction here from FlyQuest. They want to try and funnel this Tristana early on. They've already got Neo's flash down. And even though he has taken cleanse, in addition to being Xayah for the extra safety there, this flash for the early game, FlyQuest, love to see this aggression early on with this comp. They are not going to let it go the way that it did yesterday, where with the double globals, they were unable to be super proactive and get early leads. They're already opening up both sides of the map for plays.
Here's Licorice, would love to go for a taunt flash if possible, but Soligo playing to the bottom side of the map, I think has understood where the opposing jungler is, and the fact that Fake God almost certainly called missing. It's like, hey, Shen's gone, he shoved the wave, I didn't see if you recalled, might want to hug bot side. So everyone's okay down there. Dream sets up the Scuttle Crab. Nicely done. I think that was a good backflip, you know, vault over with the Lance. And no problem there for Azael to grab that once the shield is gone. Dardark's going to walk into a friend, and they're going to trade blows quickly. There's phase rush. There's a lot of attacks. Q puts him on half HP, but not much more to do there as he kills the ward.
It's so nice to be a jungler with you know, both sides of the map winning like that. Having blown the flash on top side, Fake God, he has to make this adjustment where he's like, okay, I have to let Shen, you know, push this wave into me. I can't overextend here. Mordekaiser is a sitting duck out in a lane like this. If Jose heads up there, Fake God right now has to get this wave in to be able to bounce back. So Licorice doing his best here to trade aggressively and you know, take as much of an advantage out of this lane state as he can versus Fake God. You see how scared he is while he still has this cooldown on his flash. Thankfully for him, still early enough in the game. Twisted Fate is not level 6, but still such a dangerous position for him.
The timing will basically line up that Flash is back by the time TF is 6. I think there's maybe like a 4-second window where you can technically get in there before that happens, but yeah, almost not going to matter aside from obviously walking and burning Summoner Teleport, which are possible. You can see Palafox goes up for an aggressive board that'll track when Dardark goes to the Raptors, and he is walking top. It's TP down, Licorice trading pretty aggressively, and TF decides, okay, back to the lane. Probably was called that a Trinket Ward was in the river a while back, so no gank to be had, back to mid.
In order to permafreeze, you need 4 ranged minions if it's right in front of your tower, because it being closer to your tower means your you know, reinforcement minions arrive first, and you need all that extra damage. So it is going to be able to push back out now because he just had 3 there, not quite enough damage to push them down. And Fake God approaching the level 6 too. That is, you know, Mordekaiser comfort zone. You have a little bit more safety against those ganks. Once you can at least get to your level 6, then you have a lot of answers for possible ganks, whether it is jungler or Twisted Fate.
Definitely. As we keep tracking XP, I also want to point out the fact that Licorice will be later to 6, not only because Jose Diodo is sharing XP, but because his walk to mid, then recall, then walk back to top did lose him, I think, 3 melees. So Fake God is permanently an XP advantage outside of pushes like this, where it's a temporary lead. But Fake God will have Death Realm well before Staying United in most lane states here. That can... Yeah, so the shove comes in, he gets 6 anyway, it's not going to matter. But in a case where it wasn't being pushed, this would have been a level 6 difference, and that could have meant, you know, if there's a TP play bottom, Licorice can't join without burning teleport, and you know, maybe the small chance is there. End of the day, he's still fine, and the wave's going to go in. He's pretty safe. You saw Jose Diodo back him up. Dardark nearby, and that means Death Realm can mean Dardark is going to get in range for this one. So big damage, and the setup's going to be here. So Licorice, he's going to show up at 200 HP. He's out of the Death Realm, the taunt, and if he flashes, maybe he lives. Flash auto comes in, first blood the Dardark. Great setup by Fake God.
You can only deny God for so long, freak. Once he hits level 6, he's done taking the punishment on top side of the map. Fake God immediately ults him, gets into range. Bottom side, though.
Nice setup into instant ulti in for the Shen as well. Taunt, nice headbutt, nice pulverize. Aphromoo, MVP material saves Neo's life.
Are you kidding me? Dignitas actually also lived the bottom side focus that we knew was coming straight from Champion Select. Palafox still yet to use his ultimate, so he could look bottom as well, but that was the most dangerous time in the game for Neo. He has no flash. There is a level 6 Shen who just respawned after this death, getting killed, and there's a level 6 Twisted Fate that FlyQuest are all looking to kill that Xayah before Xayah's level 6 and before she has her flash. Like that play right there for bottom side, Aphromoo and Neo getting out. That is an LCS big play right there.
Yes.
Even though, you know, no bloodshed, the escape is huge because that is an important timing window for FlyQuest.
Yeah, like I kind of want to see at some point the like Aphromoo's play against Shen at like 1/4 speed post ult, because you know, one of the things that we have on this broadcast is the Honda performance play. And, you know, the producers always ask, like, hey, make sure you keep your eyes out for one, because you have to call it out verbally when it shows up. That, to me, even though it wasn't a kill, the fact that it wasn't 2 kills is that kind of material, you know, where Aphro's like, I know the timing here. I will stop the Shen. I will pull him mid-taunt. I'll headbutt him away. And he was going to walk away, no problem. That's the kind of stuff I'm looking for. Aphro played that one really nicely. Maybe we get to see it again, but it was a good play for sure.
All right, doesn't mean the game plan has changed for FlyQuest, though. Another initiation.
Headbutt went nowhere. That was weird, but Neo's going to live. Flash the way. Flash follow. He's going to drop. Rooted to the turret, and it might not matter. Goodbye. The rest of the team shows up, and you tried your hardest, but a 4v2 is too good. Double kill in for FlyQuest.
Yeah, like I said, the game plan's not going to change. Just because you avoid the death the first time, everybody coming to town on the bottom side of the map. The objectives, however, still going to dig, Freak. As you can see, top side there, Dardoch, it already had started up the Rift Herald, and seeing Jose and Palafox both to the bottom half mean he gets this Rift Herald no problem.
Well, top laner still fighting back and forth, unfortunately for Fake God. He is down in gold, down in CS, and well, he doesn't have that much damage, unfortunately. Dardoch is going to get the Herald in time, though, and his top laner can show up first. He's going to jump the wall with his ulti. Jose Diodo does not want to ult into the jungle because Soligo could walk there first, so it is a Herald taken and safety for the Dignitas jungler. As you mentioned, Kobe, yes, kills and gold are on one side, but the objectives ubiquitously to Dignitas.
Yes, sir, during all of these attempts for kills.
Honda performance play, Kobe!
Asking you shall receive, Freak. Here it is from Aphromoo, though. A knock up there onto Licorice as soon as he came in. Unable to get off that taunt, the follow-up, you know, onto the AD carry. As you already know, though, attempt number 2 from FlyQuest, more successful. And that was, again, they got it in just before Neo hit that level 6. His flash was back up, but it's back down now. That thing is going to get a lot of use spamming that F key this game, as everybody will be piling on.
Kobe, I gotta admit, that looked way less cool in the replay than I thought it was. It was just like, I pressed Q when he showed up. It wasn't like he stopped taunt or anything. He just like presses buttons. So I'm sorry for overselling it. Aphro's still very good, okay? He's still a very good player, but that was a bit more pedestrian than I expected.
Yeah, I mean, oftentimes, so when you're playing Shen and you are on somebody, like, you're pretty much always just immediately camera over that person and just spamming your E so you can have the instant taunt coming out.
Right.
But you know, Aphro timing on the Q at least initially as he gets in. Here comes the dive. Number 3, though.
Oh, no. Soligo, he's comboed. He's been flashed on. He's not going absolutely anywhere. Jose Diodo going to grab the kill. Nicely done by Dreams to hold turret the entire time until he had to drop it. And FlyQuest, this group just keeps showing up, 3 kills to 1.
Did Soligo ulted Jose instead of Dreams there?
Yeah.
He wasn't quite in range to get the ult off on Dreams, but definitely the kill price. You always want to ult the person that has tower on them, obviously, to get close to getting that kill. Don't know about the calculation with the extra sphere on the ground, if it's enough to tip the tides, but he goes down. No flash blown because he was CC'd almost from 100 to 0, and knew that he was dead man walking.
For sure. Definitely right, not the flash, as you're calling out. Like, sometimes you just got to save the cooldown and try again later. But it's a rough one, for Dignitas. They're getting objectives. We are waiting for the Herald to summon. They got about a minute left in that one. A minute and change, I guess. But Yeah, the kills keep going through. It means the lanes are bleeding XP, they're bleeding gold as plates drop, as minions are not able to be taken. And FlyQuest, you know, unfortunately for them, they've already been locked out of the midseason showdown, but flash combo over the wall, good setup into Palafox, flashing away, trying to stay alive, stunned yet again, more damage coming through for Soligo, no hope for himself, but the jump in for Graves. Meanwhile, he got away, he ulted out, there wasn't a kill, but Neo's getting chased, he barely lives as well! Nearly getting kills, but on both sides, the players live.
We've got escape artists on both teams, Freak. Palafox instantly ults. That was so smart. After the initiation from the Alistar, is able to use a Twisted Fate ultimate. Now upon arrival, though, receives another ult to the face.
Oh, so they go. No, they're going to go for the Graves instead. Dardoch doesn't have flash. They know it, so pretty easy target there, but able to simply walk away with Phase Rush, and nothing else gets backed up. Surprised he didn't go for Soligo. His stun was down, but able to get them both away. Now it's the top laners fight yet again. Bot lane turret. You love getting first turret and the last couple of plates by yourself. This is a very rich Tristana here, Johnson.
And this is just so much better for FlyQuest this time around, sticking to this game plan, keeping up the tempo of the game, forcing a lot of these fights so they can get a value out of their globals. Here's Palafox, though. You know, as soon as Aphro goes in on him, is able to wait for the stun there from Syndra, and even though Dardoch flashed in with the timer in front of him, he's like, we gotta be able to burst him. Just barely gets out before the ultimate was able to hit and deliver the last bit of damage. Then Neo, now that he has access to his ultimate, the ult gets him almost out there. Jose probably could have followed for the extra Q range. I think they also had vision of Dardoch and mid lane from that play too. So
yeah,
very close. On Hecarim, obviously you can just you know, keep walking with them and get an extra Q off, just staying in range that way for the extra kill. Neo getting out with his life though, extremely happy to survive there. But I would still say FlyQuest, goal number 1 with this comp, definitely accomplished for them. And they did have to give up a couple objectives to do it, but well worth it. Tristana Freak is massive. Full Kraken completed, and once you have that bottom lane control, doesn't matter that you gave up the early dragon, because the bottom tower is down, your Tristana is so far ahead, the consecutive dragons afterwards should be in your power.
Absolutely. Looking like a 2,500 gold lead right now on Tristana, 2.3, something around there. That is just an absurd advantage. Pretty much all of the gold difference is on Trist, which is where you want it. Jose Diodo tries to bait away a stun, walks right back out, another turret falls. FlyQuest just completely crushing the map now. As you mentioned, they tied up the dragons. We're going eventually towards Mountain Soul, and they're knocking down turrets in various places. Tristana can go top now and get the third.
Everfrost also completed for Palafox, so the TF ganks are really, really scary right now. You have Gold Card, plus you have Everfrost follow-up CC. You don't get to move until you're dead. Dignitas still pushing back, though, do get the mid tower. And as we look at how important this game is for Dig, you know, battling for seeding heading into playoffs, this is also still important for FlyQuest as far as your, you know, end of the year record counting over for your Worlds qualification. They're by no means so far out of here.
Setup comes in from both players. Aphro tanking up with the ulti now. Big damage on a Dreams. He's trying to walk away very slowly, but Dardoch can't stick around any longer. Guys, watch out for the taunt. Palafox over the top as well. Going to land the Q, and the Everfrost getting the kill onto Graves, but the re-engage could be good. Neo is free. Far another setup there for Aphromoo, who walks away alive. 1 for 1 so far in the battle. Palafox getting away with Soligo. Second kill comes across as Dreams drop, thanks to Mordekaiser. So Dignitas, despite the gold deficit, despite a fed Tristana, will win that team fight 2-1. Watch out for round 2. The stuns come across, and Soligo is solely gone. 2-2 in the team fight, and now Aphromoo going to be attacked as well. Has to watch out with the headbutt and the pulverize. Jose Diodo cannot find him easily. Headbutt pull, big damage, pulling right back in the horsey, and a misplayed team fight for FlyQuest means they cannot get Aphromoo. 3-2 to Dignitas. Palafox still wants in though. Could stun, does not dodge the gold card. The flash for the root, but doesn't get that one either. But still, it should be the kill. The trade 1 for 1, but now Licorice, it's his turn. The cleanse is instant, but Neo still getting chased down. The claw backwards. The root comes across. They're still fighting. They're still fighting, and a double kill for the king of metal.
Keep going! Get in there, Dreams! Keep on going!
And the chickens! Dardoch cutting the chickens backwards and forth as well, putting the auto-attacks across, gets 35 more gold, and now the Scuttle Crab gonna drop as well. Dignitas kills absolutely everything, Kobe!
Oh my god, end of the line, off the wall, full explosion from Dardoch, and he gets the crab. The final objective is in the dirt. What a play. All right, that is the LCS we like to see, Freak.
Yes.
We got fires just exploding from left and right. right back out. Continue to look at your objectives, though, here for FlyQuest. They used up their Twisted Fate and their Shen ultimate, so they don't have their globals.
Pretty good setup. Dreams walks very slowly here. Flash is still stunned up. They're going to try to go for 2 now as the shields come across the heels, and it's not going to be enough. Dreams drops. Johnson barely lives.
I have to say, Dignitas have been one of the teams to best thrive in chaos throughout the spring split. And as this game is, going all according to plan for FlyQuest, Dignitas just throw down and just start scrapping with them. Ooh. Turn it right back around.
Oh, he is stunned. He's going to be pulled back. He's ever frosted. He is going to die. Neo could not dodge that bullet. And Agent Smith and Jose knocked down the kill.
All right, who's next? 1v1. Let's go. Licorice is trying to keep him in range for Twisted Fate. There it is.
2v1 has ulti, pulls in Twisted Fate. So Licorice is not very helpful. Palafox cannot run very far. Flash the first Q, so going to take some autos. And here comes just the Saw. Dodges every skill shot, but it might not matter. Nice fight, Johnson. And they're going to keep battling the bottom side. Soligo gets feared, going to get attacked, going to get killed by Licorice, but they will try to trade one back. Licorice low will die. 1 for 1 down here, but the chase can continue. Palafox is the gold card in a second. Nice setup there by Dreams, and it's nightmares only for the Shadow Isles. Aphro gets a nice pulverize, still gets hit by the wall. Flash to safety, gets away with phase rush. Recalls for a second on the brush. That's a bit greedy, but gets away all the same.
Meanwhile, topside, Tristana just railing on that turret, is going to be able to get an objective for themselves for FlyQuest, as well as they chase down on the bottom side. The double horses doing work there with the re-engage for FlyQuest. They are not backing down to the speed of this game, the acceleration that Dig have thrown at them, constantly looking for these answers here. Palafox with the ult down to the bottom side, plus then having to flash away from Fake God. Initially actually looked like it was going to turn against them, but a new challenger arises. You have to keep your eyes on the mini-map here, and it's got to get difficult for these players to keep their timers on people's flashes, on the Shen ultimate, because everything is being used so frequently just on cooldown here. You actually don't even have time to type those timers into chat. They're constantly going for the fight. Palafox is able to kite back into the alcove and buy time for the rest of the team to get there. So even though Licorice, does get bursted down, once Dreams arrives, they've got the second form of initiation here. Goes in, Rel ultimate, chase him down, and Jose is going to be able to get Aphro's flash out as well.
But Dragon Fight now might begin. Shen's going to ulti in right now on top of Jose Diodo. Soligo's not going to have a good time with this one. There's about a knockback, going to be Tom, they're going to be rooted and stunned and everything, and he's just gone already. Easy dive on the Cinder, who is split from her team. And it's going to be a blue buff. Goes to Licorice. Not too bad. Mountain Drake going to be a freebie as well. FlyQuest starting to win the team fights now.
Yeah, last day of the spring split. Let's get it. Licorice and Johnson push it up on bottom side after you get that kill. Getting Dragon number 2 and being able to get Tristana some more time with these turrets. That thing, Aphromoo, there's nothing, Alistar can do to actually protect this. He might actually be next on the kill list.
Okay, damage coming across. Big taunt coming in there. Goodbye. Goodbye, Aphro. You are dead. You are dead. And he is going to drop. Johnson gets to number 3. Jose Diodo finishes the Mountain Drake, and FlyQuest just roaring ahead right now.
Okay, so take a deep breath here. Sometimes when the pace is pushed like this, especially versus the team with globals, as we're talking about it getting hard to track, cooldowns, it is also very common for your communication within your team to just get frantic. And it gets hard to actually attribute lane assignments correctly now because of the pace of the game that, FlyQuest constantly pushing and looking for these plays with the map open. In that case, there's no value for just an Alistar at that turret, right? And you're looking at the rest of the map, accounting for the rest of the members. But in the hastiness, in this chaos, in this, overload of communication, they let go another one, and FlyQuest are just thriving in it. You see these super deep wards up on the right side for them as well, giving them more information, and so it makes it more and more difficult for Dig to actually get any sort of map control, pushing out their lanes, as every time they do, you get a super sped up initiation here. Hecarim, Shen, and Rel, that is probably the scariest, one of the scariest forms of initiation, maybe aside from Camille Gallio, that we have in the game. And then Dreams over the wall again. They put this guy in just a couple games ago, and he's really been syncing up with this team. Honestly, coordinating a lot of these engages super well. Looks like FlyQuest here to play.
Well, a Herald will be summoned. It will crash in the mid lane turret. Should knock it down. Local gold goes over to Dardox, he's a bit richer. As Dignitas try to fight back a 3,500 gold lead. Worth mentioning, if Dignitas lose this game, they are going to end the sort of split in exactly 5th place. They will be in the lower bracket to start the mid-season showdown, waiting for a loser from round 1. And look, if you lose a match, you are out. You are not qualifying for the mid-season invitational. If you win, you got a chance at being in a 3-way tie, getting as high as 3rd if it goes well for you. So that's the stakes here. FlyQuest, yeah, I'm sorry. FlyQuest is too late for you. You are not making playoffs regardless, but Dignitas, if they want an upper bracket berth, must get a comeback in this game or they are 5th seed.
And even though, FlyQuest won't be able to play in the mid-season qualification for MSI, their game count does carry over for the end of the year. So every single one still does count. They're definitely fighting for it here.
Yep.
As well as Dignitas. Really, though, the stakes, you're talking about the difference between 4th and 5th is so big with the extra life in in playoffs, in the qualifications for MSI. And with how well Dig have done this year, they definitely want, every little chance that they could possibly get to be that representative.
For sure. And they're going to try to find their way in, but it's getting farther and farther away as FlyQuest are picking up important items. Zhonya's Hourglass and Lichbane done for Palafox. Quicksilver Sash now picked up for the Tristana, doing the high DPS build of Kraken Slayer into Phantom Dancer. That is just the highest single target damage you can do against most targets, so that's going to be really, really good if he's safe. And again, he probably will be with QSS. He's just going to free fire on everybody. So we'll see if Dignitas can find their way back into this one. Obviously, they don't have the ticking time bomb of dragons to really help with it. They've got a pretty farm Mordekaiser, which is good, but not much else right now.
All right, already transitioning their vision over to Baron here, though. Dig do have pretty good pick tools. Syndra Stun is definitely one of my favorites for mid-game, for, abusing Fog of War, long-range Syndra Stun. You can catch people out and allow the Alistar to follow up for a quick pick. Can turn this game right back around. It's still within a reach for Dig, even though it's very difficult for them to play the map with the double globals from FlyQuest. FlyQuest just have to stick to their guns. Push out both side lanes, use your Shen teleport plus Twisted Fate ultimate to find your pick. If Dignitas play it too defensively, then there's no reason for you to overextend, and you should be able to get map pressure leading into Dragon at number 3, which will give you that huge edge.
40 seconds. Bottom river going to be the target pretty soon as that dragon comes up. Right now, making sure there's no Baron baits. There's no, I traded your Mountain Drake for a Baron, haha, we get ahead. Like, that's probably not going to be a possibility as the control wards come down. These recalls are a little late on the FlyQuest side. If they want to fight over wards, they're going to have a hard time actually getting their members there in time as the horse-like champions come back over. Ungulate would be the noun. Ungulate sounds like an adjective. It's not. It's actually just a noun for I think it's mammals with like 4 hooves. I think something like that. So, now I will say Rel is actually just like a human woman. She just can, she makes a metal horse. So I don't know if it really counts, but either way, we are continuing on though as Fake God is taking so damn much damage. That claw was great, but Johnson gets the flash follow anyway. I think Serev gets the chase down. Kill picked up. Afro can only kill a ward. This dragon's gonna be a freebie.
They're going to go straight for, actually, the inhibitor turret there. Keep Tristana, the demolitionist. Explosive shot will make quick work of it. So they're also going to get heavy bottom side damage, plus that objective of the dragon at the same time. Such a high value pick there for FlyQuest. Johnson can just back off. Don't overcommit to it. Aphromoo is coming for you.
Yeah, he tried. He put the chem tank down, but couldn't run far enough in. Obviously an easy rock tip away for Johnson at the end of the day. So, Jose Diodo and Licorice going to take this Mountain Drake, no problem. Again, we knew it wasn't going to be contested. And so, hey, the timer is 30 minutes and about 45 seconds for Mountain Soul. And that will nearly be a death knell for Dignitas if it comes through.
Certainly will, and FlyQuest definitely have an easy setup for it with all that damage dealt to the inhibitor turret. Actually ends up going down. So exposed inhibitor on bottom side, facing against a Shen plus Twisted Fate. Split push here from FlyQuest. Dignitas, they really have to just look for someone to try and get their engage on. You mentioned the chem tank being burnt last time by Aphromoo, so he doesn't have that extra speed. And that's basically the main initiator for this team. Unless FlyQuest walk into a Syndra stun from Fog of War, it has to be this huge flash play from Aphromoo to catch somebody out and try and get that quick kill for Dig, because otherwise it's so easy for FlyQuest to just push in on both sides of the map and just continue to make Dig squirm as they've got control of the Baron setup.
Waiting on a control ward. Does someone show up to help Soligo? Nope. Okay, cool. Then we'll take your Krugs, no problem. We see what you're clearing away. Not going to be an issue. On a ward, going to sweep it, give the gold over to Dardoch, or at least share it 30 apiece. As Palafox keeps the wave for going, but you can see where the minions are. You can look at the minimap. Every single lane is pushed well past the river. All of them up to the tier 2s are closer. And Dignitas are only playing defense now, hoping they don't lose Baron out of nowhere, but the wards are going away. The Vid is getting killed. Johnson could, I think, shoot that ward over the wall unless he somehow can't see it, but for now, Dignitas will keep vision inside the pit.
Yeah, bottom side going well for them as well there for Licorice, continuing to push up on the Mordekaiser despite the power spikes here for Mordekaiser being able to handle the 1v1. They need him to be able to join the rest of the team to deal with the Baron threat. Double teleports up for Dig, so they do have one really good shot at this. Attempt to stop possible Baron trade there from FlyQuest. And it seems like FlyQuest are content because of the extra, teleports there for Dig to wait for Dragon Soul. It's a much less risky objective to go for. They will have to wait a decently long time here, 2 minutes, 45 seconds still left on the next Dragon. But it seems like they're being very cautious around the possibility of failing on that Baron. If you do have timely teleports from Dig, when Aphromoo gets off a good flash, it would be devastating for the game from this point to collapse from FlyQuest due to a mishandled Baron attempt.
True. All right, play it right. 2 minutes, 20 seconds till Mountain Soul. That is a pretty good saving grace. Just in case things go wrong, you can never lose that extra shield. But a lot harder to die at that point as they're moving toward it. Johnson waiting in the brush. He's going to maybe find Fake God. Of course, keep in mind there are people right behind him. Going to go for the play. Pretty good damage. Keep in mind, does have a QSS, but just deletes the poor champion. Oh my word, that was instantaneous practically. Goodbye to Mordekaiser.
People have been memeing on Tristana, your rocket jumps looking like Malphite ultimates, and Johnson actually makes a good case for it right there. Level 16 Tristana absolutely murders Fake God. Yes, he does have Licorice right there with him for the protection with Shen, but that is such a huge pick for FlyQuest. Having a trailer on the split push, now they actually get to go threaten that inhibitor. If you take inhibitor first, should be trivial to get your follow-up neutral objectives, and this game plan from the beginning of focusing bottom side, getting the Trist ahead with your double globals. It's now a level 16 Tristana. Same level as his own solo laners, 2 levels up on Soligo, the enemy solo laner there. So definitely massive, massive Trist with the QSS as well to deal with, Mordekaiser ultimate, even when Fake God tries to do that. So there's honestly very few possibilities for Dig to come back in it because Trist is so fed and has the luxury to go for the extra answer there in the QSS while still being highest DPS champion in the entire game.
Yep.
That's a tough test to ace there, Freak.
Yeah, it is. You just hope you find something in there. The one saving grace is she doesn't have any raw tank stats. Obviously, okay, yes, Shen can just provide you some, but hey, maybe you get the yeah, exactly. So maybe, you get the level 16 Cinder ult off with 5 Dark Spheres, and you're like, actually, that's half her health bar, and you get a Graves ult over the top, and maybe you finish the kill. So, there is that slim margin. Obviously, 4-item TF with a Magi's now as well is also very threatening, so good luck with the rest of the fight, but, it is only a 2-threat team. It's Tank Hecarim after all. He's not going to be that deadly, so there's the slimmest of odds here, but here comes the objective fork where, look, you don't want to give away Mountain Soul, nor do you want to give... It's because who cares about Mountain Drink number 2? TF ult reveals locations as Shen is pushing in top. Dignitas rushing down towards the Dragon. We know Shen can reliably show up, but Mord can obviously try to cancel it with the claw backwards. And are they going to be in range to smite? Jose Diodo not even going to be there in time, so the Drake just given away. It's going to put a 5-minute slow.
From FlyQuest, they actually used the teleport from Licorice up to the top side to try and split push, but Fake God just recalls, and he has teleport on the Mordekaiser ready, so good move here from Dig, forcing on that Dragon. They don't let the setup from FlyQuest take hold And now FlyQuest, after losing out on that possible soul for themselves, immediately turning to the Baron. Teleports are still ready for Dig. They can catch him in here, though.
Dreams right in behind Dardoch, gonna find the knockback. The ult combo, Hozadito over the top as well. Shen coming nearby, but not gonna find it just yet. Dreams now gonna be locked in the Death Realm for a duel, but watch out for Alistair. Taking the front line, has a flash away. Will die to explosive charge, though. That's gonna be a drop for one so far. Licorice push back. Neo is safe, and Neo gets kill number 2. Somehow Dignitas keep team fighting, but Johnson is alive. Watch out for the Tristana. She is free firing. She is pulled back, though, and Fake God takes down the AD carry. Palafox, the only man left alive, and Dignitas just keep team fighting better.
Are you kidding me? Johnson just rocket jumped in towards his teammate as Dreams died coming out of Mord ult. He rocket jumped in onto Dardoch and Fake God, then had to instantly flash and was behind enemy lines. The Tristana is this team freak, and when Johnson goes down, that is Dignitas celebration at the Baron. Dig Baron lives on here. 4,000 health. They should be able to finish it. Palafox attempting a steal.
2v1 is big damage, though. He's going to shut down Graves. Fake God's got to be careful. Baron's helping. Oh! Palafox makes it happen. What do you say about Dig Baron's, Kobe? That's not a throw. That is a great play by Palafox.
It is a Dig Baron freak. I cursed it right as this happening. Palafox, Summoner's Spellbook, the most hilarious keystone in the game. Switches over to Smite, teleports in, kills him off, and gets it. Look at this fight, though. Top side, Dreams is dead to this Mordekaiser ult. I think if Johnson actually just stays with frontline there, Palafox, Licorice, and Jose, he finishes off Saligo. And then they're able to turn on Neo, but he rocket jumped over onto Fake God and Dardoch right melee range, and then flashed.
That's just a misplay. Like, there's no one there to go for. I don't know why you jumped that way. That's just going on.
And he is the team. He is, the threat for this team. But man, Palafox, add this one to the resume. This is your highlight reel. Teleports in, he's got the Everfrost for the extra burst, kills off the jungler. He has Smite with his Summoner Spellbook. Yeah. Able to then just chase off Fake God as well. Smurfing it.
TPs to mid, so he's in range for the ult, plus keeps the move speed from using teleport itself, just zipping around. That was beautiful. Yeah. That was a really, really, really good play. And by the way, full build, 25 stack Magi's. So Palafox is real scary in this game.
You know what? I take it back. Tristana is not the team. Palafox is the team.
Yep. A gold card forced Neo's ultimate. That cooldown's 6 seconds long, by the way. That's not getting better for you, Neo.
Dude, that 25 Magi stack really stuck up on me. Palafox. All right, this is going to make the end that much more exciting. Baron buff on the split push team, Freak. Let's see. Not everybody's wearing it, though, because several of them were still dead. I believe they do have at least 2, though, so pushing in on mid and top at the same time. Palafox transitions over here to try and buff up this cannon minion and put the extra threat here on top inhibitor turret.
Okay, goodbye. That is a turret charge. That is a bit of damage, but Soligo, I don't believe got auto-attacked by Jose Diodo. Gets the shuttle to stay alive, though, just barely. Palafox gets the Alistair back, and they were so close killing Hecarim, but it was not enough. Instead, it is Aphromoo who drops. And Dignitas on the run away. Decent damage towards Dreams. Gonna crash down away for the shield. But that is now 2 inhibitors dead, and Mountain Soul spawning in 50 seconds. Dignitas will be hard-pressed to get out of their base in time without risking their Nexus turrets to defend it.
I love that this is our first game of the day, too. Yes. This one really getting your blood pumping for the LCS. The gold graph does not tell the story, Freak. This one was so exciting back and forth. A lot of big plays for Dig in the mid game, but FlyQuest, they're the ones that stuck to their game plan. Very clear and coordinated here. Focus all your globals. Bottom side, get the Tristana ahead. They got the bottom turret. Were able to, after the first dragon given over, get themselves to the soul point, and then use that for macro to be able to finish off these inhibitor turrets. Now, last one that is left standing is the mid lane here. Johnson now level 18, so max range with the Tristana. Should be able to stay safe. As long as you don't get those rocket jumps right in melee range, this has got to be FlyQuest getting the dub.
Yep. This game is
bunker. I agree.
It is. It's an exciting one. It's a good one. It's a good one here. Well, let's see. Jose Diodo starting the solo. Dream showing up as well. Trying the very hardest to knock down this dragon, and really no one's going to defend it. This is Mountain Soul being given away. Johnson going to help a little bit for good measure. Wow. Imagine
what a bonkers
the
soul
there.
take, Freak. What a bonkers soul take right there. I love the play-by-play.
I want to see that again at quarter speed. Not really, though.
Each shot coming out. What is the dragon going to do here? Mountain Dragon is also actually the slowest dragon. It's actually the most.
Yeah.
It's
lowest
actually the most
game.
Ridiculous fight there. Here we go, though. Shen Ultimate is ready here for Licorice. They can honestly just wait for these supers to head in on bottom side and top. And then it really is up to Dig here. Aphromoo, Turbo Chem Tank at the ready. It's got to make, you know, the Hail Mary play there for Dig. Go for the initiation for the pick.
Big damage up front right there, and Fake God gonna get a couple of slams, gonna stay alive. Jose does not want in, but he's so quick, zipping in and out, but doesn't find the engage he wants. Instead, mid lane under fire. That turret's gonna drop in one more auto, gets killed now by Tristana. Nice engage by Dreams, headbutt puts him away a little bit, but the re-engage is beautiful already. Dardark is gone. 1-for-1 so far as Tristana has dropped, and Fake God is gonna try to do a Palafox, but can he win that battle? The rest of his team is dropping around him though. Hourglass buys some more time. Soligo is alive though, and Fake God gets it again. You gotta be kidding me. Dignitas win the fight 4-1 against Mountain Soul.
Neo seeing the Matrix. He just takes them all out. What a good front line there for Dig. Again, Johnson down early here. Let's take a look at pushing it right back, though. Death timers, 35 on Jose. Dreams is the only one alive, so it should be the inhibitor, inhibitor turret and inhibitor, but I don't think you can end it with the double rounds of super minions heading toward you. Yeah, Soligo does have TP, but can he stall long enough? 15 on Tristana. Johnson will be up, I think.
Yeah. They're still cheating forward, though. Like, they're willing to go for this one. They've got 8 minions. They have 8 minion, and they can bring in the mid laner. So they're going to go for turn number 1, turn number 2 as well. The dream for an upper bracket spot is alive if they win this game. They're going for the Nexus. Dignitas with the impossible comeback. Keep the hopes of a top 4 spot alive.
Are you kidding me, Dignitas? Let's go. What an exciting game. Look at these reactions, head in hands. Holy moly. How did we win that game? What a team fight. Just one team fight in the base, Freak. Run it all the way back. Mountain Soul or not.
Kobe. Keep the color scheme on the screen in mind. Dignitas are now Golden Guardians' biggest fans. Dignitas can get a top 4 spot if Golden Guardians beats TSM. That is required to make this happen because Dignitas do not own the tiebreak against TL or 100 Thieves. They need TSM in that mix for that play to stay alive. Golden Guardians are now the saving grace of Dignitas. After that comeback, they still need more.
Honestly, that game was so much fun. What a wake-up call here for the LCS. Everybody's battling for playoff spots, and Dignitas, till the last second, just kicking and punching their whole way right back into it. I love it. Congratulations to them, honestly. Fake God with the last pick, Mordekaiser. So many clutch moments for him. You know, Johnson did rocket jump onto his face a couple times, and sometimes he loved to see it. Bottom side, you know, he got 100%ed. Honestly, replay the base fight. That would be my review here for this game. Let's fast forward all the way to that last base fight and look at the micro there, because FlyQuest are going to be kicking themselves, probably reviewing that thing 5 times.
Yeah, that's a rough one there for FlyQuest. Obviously, they had it. There were so many good plays. I mean, but Palafox is awesome with the TP, ult, Spellbook, Smite, Steal. Like, that was beautiful. But
what a play.
What a play, and it still wasn't enough. Baron, Mountain Soul, better team fighting. Good job, Fake God. Good job, Neo. Good job, everyone else in Dignitas. A well-played win off of a banger, for sure. So we'll see if they stay alive or if they're going to be in the lower bracket based on the next game. But until then, we've got more to happen. As we step away, Dash will be talking with Aphromoo in our Verizon post-game interview, so we'll meet you there.
Jake from State Farm. I would like to formally extend my gratitude for the Russell rate on my insurance.
Do you mean surprisingly great rates from State Farm?
I don't believe in accepting help, but I'll make an exception.
Here's the deal, Russell. There's no special rate. These prices are for everyone.
With the Oak and the Eagle as witness, consider us square. I made that from memory. I know your face that well.
You want the real deal? Like a good neighbor? State Farm is there.
Welcome back to the LCS and the Verizon post-game interview. I am here with Aphromoo, and I gotta be honest, my friend, I didn't think I was gonna be interviewing you about 3 minutes ago, and then y'all turned that game around. It was looking doomed, especially after that Baron. What happened? How on earth did you come back in that?
We had a lot of moments to come back. Our macro was very poor this game, so they definitely... FlyQuest is a good team, super aggressive, always looking to jump the gun, and Dreams actually did play really well this game. The only reason we came back was literally at the end. I mean, they dove on Dardoch, their backline opened up, I got a Q flash, and R flashed, and they both died, and after that it was over pretty much.
Team fight mechanics, man. It all came together. Within that, though, I do want to talk about the draft that FlyQuest threw out on the board, only because Shen has an incredible win rate here in the LCS. Before today, he was 6-1, only losing one game, and in most drafts gets banned out. So, what was the thought there in kind of handing over such a power pick when it comes to team fighting, knowing that you guys are a very team fight reliant team typically?
Mm-hmm. The strategy was just to play around their dive comp where they have the Triss always jumping in, Rel's always jumping in, TF to support that across the map with like the hack rim, and it was pretty good. It was a lot harder than we had expected. It was pretty unexpected. Liquor's blinding Shen, but I mean, he's done it before. But I do think we just fall prey to our poor macro understanding where when they can make a play, what's strong side, what's weak side, and this weekend playing against TL and who else did we play? C9. I'm sorry, C9. We got a lot of doses. Yeah, we got a lot of doses of poor macro where the enemy team just punishes really hard. So I think it's important that we get these experiences now for our young guys so that we're able to understand going into best of 5.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so you've already keyed into a little bit of what my next question was going to be. We are looking towards playoffs, so I'll talk to you in a moment about possible tiebreaker scenarios, but just quick reflection for you as we kind of close out the regular split. Again, Dignitas has been the big surprise, I think, to most everybody. You've been an absolute joy to watch, but for you, in reflecting back now, how do you feel about the progress the team has made? How do you feel about your chances once you move into best of 5, knowing that that's a totally different animal and approach when you have to play, a single team multiple times in a row and adjust over time?
Well, we won the flip for the best of 1s to go into playoffs, so that's great. I think everyone prefers best of 3 or best of 5, so going into playoffs, I think it's going to be a lot more fun for us, and definitely playing against all the teams and being able to get more games especially is important, but for our progress leading up to now, I think we've improved a lot. I mean, we have a lot of talent from these guys. And when you're making the jump from Academy to LCS, it's a lot different, like vast. Everyone has more experience than you, more knowledge, knows how to communicate, when they're behind, when they're ahead, understands all the patterns in the game. So for our young guys, it's important to learn that. So when we're going up against, veteran, whether it be the laners, junglers, whatever, supports, it's just important, how the game works. And right now we're still learning. So this weekend was apparent playing against the top teams, and we definitely took a beating.
Well, you're at least going to get some best of 5 experience, but with this victory here today, you guys are keeping yourselves alive for possible tiebreakers and jumping into that top 4 double elim portion of the playoffs. That is reliant on Golden Guardians winning the next game, but if they do, it'll put you into a 3-way tie with TSM and then the winner of the following game, 100 Thieves versus Team Liquid, in which case you would be playing the winner of that game. So you'll have to play either 100 Thieves and TL first. If you win that matchup in the tiebreaker, you then move on to challenge TSM for even higher placement in the top 4 bracket. How are you feeling about any potential matchups against those guys a couple hours from now and the kind of prep that it would take, not even knowing your opponents just yet?
Yeah, we're going to be here a while today, so that's going to be fun. But any extra games we can play, especially, competitively on stage, is great for us. So I'm looking forward to it.
All right, well, with that long day ahead of you in mind, I'm going to go ahead and let you go. Again, congratulations on an epic comeback and a huge victory. Can't wait to see you in the postseason regardless, Aphromoo.
Thank you, Dash. Appreciate it.
All righty, from here, we're tossing it back to the State Farm Analyst desk to break down that game a little further.
We're we're getting to see a lot of Aphromoo today. We heard from them in Countdown, now after another Dignitas victory. But Crumbs, I just don't know what to expect from these games anymore when Dignitas takes to the Rift.
I don't think anyone does at this stage because we have some gold graphs for you to show you the Dignitas wins. This was week 5 against TSM. They won with a gold deficit. And then today, once again, against FlyQuest in a game that should definitely have not been theirs, Dignitas pulls out a win. Look at this. These are wins. These are red side win gold graphs. Jensen had the best interview about Dignitas. So you got to ask other teams how they keep losing because this is not a loss. What is happening with Dig?
They're rock climbers. They got these cliff faces that just drop off that they're scaling. I don't know, man. It doesn't make any sense to me. This seems nuts.
Yeah, and so like we have the team in the LPL that we always say like they can't keep getting away with it, and it was always IG, and they would rely on their hands to basically win team fights. And hey, surprise, we have Dignitas, and they're just relying on their hands in team fights. And the draft actually blows my mind what they gave up for the composition that they had on this patch to give up Hecarim, Rel, Tristana in the first 2 rotations on blue side to go for comfort on red side for Dig. And then they were obviously rewarded for it by these team fight wins where they're just beasting their team fights. But this is not like, this is very like they can't keep getting away with it because, you know, I understand they're really comfortable with this composition. So, but like, it really just blows my mind.
Both of those gold graphs were against Shen Hecarim because the enemy team keeps diving with those champions, ignoring the backline, and then they lose.
Yeah, but I mean, like, at the same time, also, to Emily's point about they can't keep getting away with it, like, look at how painful the early game is because they have this totally bot dive focused team comp that can go make plays all over the map with double globals and a Hecarim with is going to, you know, turbo chem tank. Like, it's so easy to make these plays. And for the most part, FlyQuest had a really big throw in the mid game where they kind of funneled in one at a time to kind of stall Dig out a little bit. But they still got Soul. They still got Baron after another really sus play that we'll probably take a look at. So it was not a clean game out of FlyQuest, but you saw how like hard Dig kind of stacked the deck against them with how much power the other team comp had.
And I was gonna say the other thing I didn't mention is that if you're going in for like a hands off, right, where you're just like, oh man, you know, we're gonna out team fight you, this composition from FlyQuest is also just a really difficult composition to do that against because again, they can dive you. You do need to find those openings, as Aphromoo mentioned in his interview, because this team also scales really well too, right? So it's not like you're sitting there back and relying on late game scaling either, because FlyQuest also has that.
I mean, this was a game that I think woke up a lot of people here to kick off our day in the LCS. I know Mark had mentioned that Baron play that we had saw during this game. Crumbs, what do you think of what we have seen from the FlyQuest mid laner and bringing TF back here to be able to make this possible?
I mean, just how CLG is victim to their name, Dignitas is victim to their own meme. The Dignitas Baron is too real here. It's a great play out of Palafox with the smite change and the double kill there. This should be the end of the game. This is such a giant throw. It had to have ended here, but it did not. It really did not. It was the flash hands because at the end, like Aphro said, that flash double pull with Neo following up, it was the bottom lane who once again snatched victory from the jaws of defeat.
And for a while, we really did think this was going to be a game to end in FlyQuest's victory. But Mark, come on, Dignitas. There are 2 things that seem to be reliable. Them losing Baron and finding a way to pull off these unexpected wins.
Yeah, I mean, you heard what Crumbs just talked about there. They legitimately play team fights super well. Watch Johnson here. He kind of kites up around the inhibitor, and they instantly double flash on him. Both Neo and Aphro saw the exact same play at the same time, and that is a level of synergy that does not come from communication. That comes from seeing the game the exact same way. There's no way to react to someone's call that quickly. The fact that they both saw the same play, he's like, oh, I can get roots here, and Aphro was like, oh, I can get a headbutt pull off here. They saw the opportunity to win the game for their entire team, and that's why Dig is such a threat, because at any moment, you know, these players see these opportunities, and the fact that these players all see the game the same way gives them an advantage over teams that are still struggling or maybe are not on that same level.
And one thing I want to point out to follow up with that in terms of how well they're team fighting is something that Aphromoo said, where he in his interview, he's just like, yeah, you know, this is good practice for us, and any tiebreakers is also good practice for us. And that's actually a really cool way of seeing it, because that allows for situations like this, right? Like if you are just automatically knowing how you're going to play these fights the exact same way, then you can pull out games like this, even if we wouldn't expect it.
Yeah, I think that's one of the reasons that the results of Dignitas has been so unexpected. You look back at Lock-In where we saw very few games from them. Now we've got plenty to pull from, even a couple victories when at a gold deficit. But the upper bracket dream is still alive for Dignitas, and when we return, Golden Guardians are going to be looking to take down TSM to deliver us some potential tiebreakers. We'll see you there.
Your Honda MVP!
Dreams aren't achieved overnight. They take passion.
It's Mr. World 20.
Dedication. And even then, there are no guarantees. But for the LCS, that's the power of dreams.
Too bad!
It means you never give up. It means you always play again. Honda, proud automotive partner of the LCS.